Hey everyone, this is PrinceWatercress, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. This time around, it is Tagin for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Developed by Sachin Incorporated, also known as Sinchen Enterprises, and published by Bunch Games, which is really Color Dreams. This is not a very good game. It took me 5 attempts to get this video to where I got through the whole game in one sitting, as quickly as possible. There is a one-player mode, there is also a 2-player cooperative mode, meaning both of you play at the same time, and there's also a versus mode where you try to eat each other, and the first person to eat the other person wins. I'm going to be playing the one-player game for this game. And this game is pretty nuts. You're a European dragon, you're going up against 3 other European dragons, you're the green one, they're the brown ones, and you have to eat at the tails. The tails are the health meters for these dragons, as well as your own. And if your tail is completely devoured, you die and you lose a life. If your opponent's tails are completely devoured, they basically die. The loser always turns into a skeleton if they lose their tail completely. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to get through these stages. That's why I'm doing post-commentary on this. You've got these black, red, and yellow black, red, and purple tiles that if you stand in them for too long, they basically kill you. They're basically called time zone tiles. You have the ice tiles, just make you go in the direction you're facing a lot faster. You can kind of use that to your advantage to eat up these dragons you're facing. And of course, you've got these hedges which block your path. That thing that looks like a pitcher of tea, that looks like a drink pitcher of some sort, that's really a magic lantern. And if you eat that with the A button, which is the same button you use to eat dragon tails, by the way, you can use those to run into the hedges and eat those and find some power-ups. The power-ups give you 300 points each, and they're just there for points, but if you find the cherries, you can get temporarily invincibility in the middle of the round, and you can use that to your advantage and just get all up on one of the dragons, or even several of them, at the same time and eat their tails and get away with it scot-free. Speaking of invincibility, if you're wondering why you don't see me in the beginning of each round, that's because of the temporary invincibility, plus this video is, of course, 30 frames per second. Because what I use to render these videos doesn't work with 60 frames per second, sadly. Darn you, Camtasia. But I do use my invincibility periods to do as much damage as I can. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Also, round 8, I usually lose a life in. Also lose a life in 3 sometimes as well. So I might as well go ahead and mention the heads-up display in the bottom. You have that little gauge in the lower left, that's the timer. Next to that is the amount of lives you have. You start at 3, and you can't gain any more, sadly, and there are no continues either. You lose all your lives at any point in the game, you're starting all the way over from round 1. And you have the score. Sometimes the hundreds digit kind of glitches in and out. That's just the game doing something weird. I might as well go ahead and mention some techniques. If you can trap your opponent in a dead end, do it. That way you can come at them from the front and try to get some licks in. Also, you never want to surround yourself in an open area, and you want to keep your tail away from the mouth of your opponents at all times, because you are going to get eaten and you are going to get killed. Just putting that out there. Now for round 12, it is kind of hard to get one of the enemies here, sadly. So what I tend to do is I try to go for the bottom and try to lure one of my opponents there, but thankfully I kind of lucked out. It's kind of easy to luck out on some of the rounds because sometimes the dragons never scatter at the beginning of a round, and because of that you can eat multiple dragons at the same time. Sometimes if I'm lucky I can eat like 3 dragons at once and just finish the stage within a matter of seconds, and then just go to the opening to the north that pops up whenever I see it happen, whenever I see it show up. Now, it's a good thing I ate the magic lantern here, because it allows me to open a path here just by going through the hedges, and I can just kind of trap my opponent where I kind of want to trap him sometimes, or at least get him to move around and not move around in a circle in an open area, or an area that's even the least bit open. The time zone areas, the little tiles with the black, red, and purple skulls, they only really kill you if you stand in one spot. Otherwise, as long as you keep moving, you shouldn't be too concerned. And I should also mention that in case you eat at your opponent's tails, you can also grow yours back. So you may want to keep that in mind in case you want to do damage to your opponents. And I did dumb things there. I let myself get surrounded, and you don't want to do that in this game. The combat in this game is really, really luck of the draw-ish, unless you can really trap your opponents. If you're just circling around your opponents, you're going to have a hard time. You've got to be a little crafty sometimes in this game. Sometimes you got to let your opponents come to you, which I kind of do here. Makes sense. Also, trying to go into that narrow passage to the north leading to the next round, that's pretty tough on ice. Now, round 17 is probably the one area that will give you the most trouble. You want to try to get one of the dragons eaten before the invincibility runs out. If not, you want to go into that corner there in the north where I'm standing, and just eat at the tails if you can. I almost lost a second life here, but thankfully I managed to think, look around, and see, oh hey, I can stand there and see if the opponents will come to me. Trapping your opponents in dead ends or narrow passageways really works like a charm in this game. And can you believe we're almost at the end? There are 20 rounds in all, and I'm already at round 19. If you can make it past round 17, you shouldn't have too much trouble afterwards. Again, I want to make sure that my opponent comes to me because, well, all the passageways are narrow. I'm not eating any of the hedges. And sooner or later, they are going to come to me because they're not going to be circling around these dragons that I'm facing here on the map. And here is round 20. I forgot to mention the controls. You move around with the control pad and you bite with the A button. Sometimes you may get caught on walls. If that happens, just move in a different direction. You should be good. There, I've pretty much covered all the basics. Now to wait for this guy to be fully eaten, so that way I can finally end this once and for all. I do eat this guy eventually because this is a successful attempt. The 5th one of the day. All I have to do is just make sure that the guy comes straight to me, and there we go. Round 20 completed, we get the credits. Sound by Roland Chang. Art picture. They couldn't even call it art, they just called it art picture. I think this game was developed in Hong Kong, and they probably didn't have the best understanding of English. But at least they knew how to make a game, albeit a not very good quality one. Nevertheless, I did have some enjoyment in trying to beat this, but I don't see myself playing this ever again. So how does this game stack up? The graphics are kind of especially here on the title screen where the dragon is just flashing different colors, and there's a lot of flicker sometimes when you have too many dragons in one spot. The sound and music can be pretty annoying and it's kind of limited. The play control is okay, it's pretty simple, but you can get caught on walls, and the game can be a little bit unfair at times if you don't know what you're doing or you get yourself in a bad situation. And once you beat the game's 20 rounds, either alone or with a friend, you could play versus mode and have like probably more fun out of that, but I don't really see a reason why you want to play through it again unless you want to drive yourself mad for an hour or something. But yeah, that was Let's Play Tagin Dragon. Not really the best game I played. Took me 5 attempts to make that Let's Play / long play. I will be re-uploading that video without the commentary for your enjoyment later on. Hopefully, usually it'll be the day after that, but you never know. And hopefully I'll be back with another game. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be bad, maybe it'll be somewhere in between, who knows. But anyway, this is PrinceWatercress. Take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and see you guys later!